Don't work for retirement. I think that's what we get stuck on, that we're going to work for retirement. And so many people, that is their number one focus. Everything is for retirement. Do you know how many people die soon after they retire? And for me, I know that being a single woman, my retirement doesn't look great right now, even though I have some retirement, but it's still nothing great. I am looking for a lifestyle that I can carry beyond what people would think is the retirement age, that I enjoy and I love, and I want to be present in the moment of today. So don't hold a career. Don't stick with retirement thoughts. Stick with what can help you be present in the moment to enjoy the sweet treasure time you have with family, friends, traveling, whatever it is. Hi, welcome to Empowered Midlife, Reinvention, and Wellness. If someone told you your best years are behind you, they were wrong. Midlife isn't the end, it's plan B. For many of us, it's when the real work and the real joy begin. Today, we're getting honest about the messy midlife, leaving what no longer fits, healing from loss, and learning how to build a life that actually honors who we are right now. We'll share practical tips for surviving burnout, protecting your health, and creating new income without losing your sanity. Plus, tiny daily habits that rebuild confidence and purpose. This is for the women who want real encouragement and community that gets it. If you haven't already, please push subscribe and join our journey through midlife. And we're going to do this together. Hey, Deana.
Hey, Lizzie. Oh my goodness, Lizzie, this is such a great topic because, man, how many of us have ever had a job where we just completely burned out? And, sometimes you don't even know that it is burnout because you're just having all these strong emotions and feelings and you're just exhausted and you don't know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess if it's okay, I'm going to read a quick checklist that I found. Am I really struggling from job burnout in midlife? Do you dread Sunday evening, feel exhausted before the week even starts? Does work drain you emotionally and physically? Do hobbies feel pointless? You're cynical, irritable, or numb at work? Sleep, appetite, or health are suffering? You're making repeated mistakes or losing motivation to learn? You identity fused to your job? If I quit, who am I? You fantasize about quitting constantly or imagining a very different life. I'm curious if any of that pertains to you. Please put it in our comments because we would love to read if you're feeling any of those on that checklist because we want to walk beside each other.
Lizzie, I want to know, tell me about a time you've felt that way at a job.
I'm thinking right now, and not that my job is really, really hard. It's just, I don't know. I've been an educator for a number of years and I'm tired when I drive up because as educators, we talk being busy from bell to bell. Well, when I was a teacher at a traditional school, my bell to bell was maybe 5.5 hours. Well, my bell to bell here is about 8. And 228 days out of the year, I'm in a good job in so many ways, but I'm like, so is that really burnout? Or,
well, I know you and I have talked about this before, and so I want to kind of bring this up. Sometimes it's not the job. Sometimes the job is an enviable job that so many people would want because maybe it's a great environment. Maybe it's good pay. Maybe if you stuck it out for 20 years, you'd have this incredible retirement. But sometimes I think it's us. It's where we're at. It's that our priorities have changed. We've changed. We've grown into maybe a different person. So what do you think about you, Lizzie, as, you've been an educator for decades and now you have probably the best job you've ever had, right?
yeah.
And people would probably tell you, you're crazy. What are you doing leaving? You're in this midlife stage and you're single and you need this retirement and you need this income. So answer that question. What is it about you that is just no longer aligning? What's going on?
I think for me, it's more about my heart is somewhere else. I'm very thankful that I have a passion that is driving me in a different direction. But the sacrifice is going to be huge. when I walk away from my job. So I can't imagine. I think that if there's no passion in there at all, I think that burnout is even deeper. Probably something that may need some good therapy for someone to kind of help you walk through things. But that's my thought. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, because when I look at you from 50,000 feet up and I see all the changes that have occurred in the last several years in your life and
Mm-hmm.
all the new passions you've developed since you've started podcasting and
Yeah.
creating YouTube videos. And, we do all of our own editing, and Lizzie does all the video creation and so much of the creative, fun things that you'll see with quotes. And she's found this passion in this niche that she didn't even know she had.
Yeah.
And here she is in this job that, again, it's a wonderful job. And sometimes I know that burnout is not about your job, because I went from healthcare job to healthcare job to healthcare job to healthcare job. And in a couple of the jobs, it definitely was the job because they were very toxic.
Yeah.
But when I finally got to healthcare job number 4 or 5, I've lost count, I realized it's me. It's me. Something has shifted in me, and I no longer have a passion for this service. And I want to do something different. And not only that, but my family priorities have changed.
Yeah.
And midlife can be very challenging. You can
Mm-hmm.
have your time divided between grown kids who need you to babysit the grandkids. You can have your time divided with parents that are aging that need you more than ever. Take me to a doctor's appointment. You can just get to a point where you're like, you know what, doggone it. I worked the whole time my kids were small. I missed so many opportunities to be with them and the first things that they did, maybe first steps, maybe some games that they were playing and some things that would have made you so happy. And you missed those. And you're like, I'll be doggone if I'm going to miss out with my grandchildren. I am not going to just miss out on life. And you also, I think, get to a point, I don't know if you feel this way, Lizzie, but I got to a point where I feel like, oh my gosh, like my life is 2/3 over. There's only so much left.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing wasting it on things that don't give me passion and purpose? Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah. Yeah. I really, really do. And it's amazing how at this stage, you're kind of like, I really wanted nice things. And then sometimes you find that you may have gone in debt because you think you want things. And then you hit this midlife burnout. And then you're like, I really don't care about this stuff anymore. So our values and shift change so much. And I feel that too, because I think I'm embracing the thought of being very minimal. I'm planning on buying a van and living in it and going across country and spending as much time with my family and grandkids and all of that. But you do find that your values and things that you're passionate about are so different than when I was 40. I mean, I still want to make money. Don't get me wrong. I still want a comfortable retirement. But you find that the things that you thought you had to have, you really didn't have to have. And I think another component of that keeps us stuck in this is also the financial component. And that's why it's really good to do your best to be debt-free, work towards being debt-free. If you want to get out of your job, a lot of times it's really cool, even in midlife, even in your 20s and 30s. If you are debt-free and you have at least 6 months of your savings and you can float, you don't feel bound to a job. And I think with midlife burnout, we're probably more controlled by the financial component that got us stuck there from our 40s, whether it's a huge mortgage or whatever else. It's really a time to filter through all of that. And what is my haves and have-nots in this stage as well, to find out there probably is a passion there. If you feel like there isn't one, it's probably not there right now because you are so bombarded in just survival.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. And so it might take a while before you're able to develop a step-by-step plan to start moving yourself into the direction of breaking free from this job that keeps you in this place where every day you just dread going in. Every day you sit at the front door, like you said, and just, gosh, I just have to fake it until I make it. And I know that for me, I started feeling like I could be replaced any minute. Nobody would even care if I was gone. They would have me replaced tomorrow. There's really no meaning in what I'm doing. I am collecting a paycheck, and that's great. But something just shifts. And I feel like I've talked to a lot of women in midlife who've had these feelings of, something has shifted and I want to do something with purpose. I want to do something with adventure. I've been doing the same thing for decades and I've deprived myself of all these things so that I could make sure that everybody was taken care of. I have never gotten to take care of me. I've never gotten to really do what I wanted to do. And so you combine all these things, the feeling like time is short, feeling like you need purpose and adventure and something exciting, feeling like it's finally your time to do something for you, and feeling like you want to own your own time and not just keep handing it off to someone else to tell you, no, you can't take that vacation. No,
Right.
you cannot go see your children in December.
Yeah.
And you're like, doggone it, I am not going to be told no anymore. I am not going to do it. So
I can see you do that. I'm all done. No more.
that's right. No more. But it's just such a wonderful feeling, when you finally realize that it's you and all these symptoms and signs are because you're not in the right place anymore. Like
Yeah.
you're sort of being called out into something that is terrifying, but also full of adventure.
Yeah.
Burnout can be very physical, by the way, you guys. It can
Yeah.
majorly impact your physical health, which is another reason why a lot of people want to leave their full-time job too, because there's no time for self-care. There's no time for making sure you're healthy. And here you are in midlife, and that's when all the stuff starts to happen. Your hormones go crazy. You probably have weight gain. You have insulin resistance. You're achy. All these health problems start creeping up, and you're just like, I need more time to actually manage my health and do the right things for my body, but I don't have that time.
Yeah.
And so what's that emergency list that you need to do right away when you realize I'm in burnout, but I can't leave? I've got to just manage it.
Well, I think you hit the first one, your health. Schedule an appointment with a primary care, which is probably my weakest thing. I stink at this. But also just really focus on your health, especially if right now you have a good health insurance, which I have, and that is something I have been working on. Reset your boundaries for the week. Block 30 to 60 minutes daily. Say no work. Walk, nap, journal. Treat it like it's a meeting, that it's really, really important for yourself. Because I did this even when my kids were young. I would get up extremely early. So that was my time to myself to help me get prepared for when I would have to do the busy work of getting them up, lunches, school, whatever. And that doesn't change. That's still important today, even with our children gone and grown. Remember, sleep is critical. It's critical when you're going through trauma. It's critical when you're going through midlife and depression. Of course, depression, sometimes we sleep too much or we want to, it's all we want to do. But also be careful with the amount of caffeine you have. Tell yourself no caffeine after 2 p.m. I've been amazed at how many people drink caffeine after 2 p.m. and they're like, I was up all night. I couldn't sleep. Well, okay, let's unpack that. And really focus on winding down an hour before bed. It looks different for everybody. I've known doctors that would say, don't watch TV, don't let that blue light, da-da-da-da-da. But if it's something that winds you down, do it for an hour before bed. Mini-detox from pressure. Delete or mute one notification source. One less demand in your life. Say no, I'm not going to do it kind of thing. And the fifth one would be list 3 things at work you can control this week. So if work is really bombarding you and controlling you, think of one thing you can or 3 things you can control this week, and at least complete one of them. One small step helps with it combats those feelings of helplessness in those situations. And finally, ask for help. Text one friend or family member and just ask them, can we talk? You don't have to carry this all alone. And it's okay to say, I'm really burned out and I don't know how to keep going, because some of us, we can't just quit our job. We can't just move on. But maybe with a friend or someone who helps you strategize, maybe there are things that you can do to help you prepare for that next step. So, Deana, are there any questions that may help us as we're filtering this process?
Yeah, I definitely. I think one of the first questions and one of the most obvious ones is financially, can you leave? Are you able to? And that's something that only you can figure out if you're able to do that. And, look at creative things though. Don't just say, oh no, I can't lose a full-time income. I can't do that. Look at creative things. Do you have anything that you could do as a side hustle? Could you start a small side hustle on the side and start to build it up? And how much do you really, really honestly need in order to make it? What could you cut out? Because I'm telling you, there's nothing like actually owning your time and owning your health and getting better and being rested and feeling that sense of purpose. It could not be better, and it is so worth it. So what are you willing to give up to have that? Yeah, okay, maybe you can't go on a nice vacation once a year. Maybe you're going to have to do little mini ones. But really take a hard look at not, yes, I can do it or no, I can't, but how can I do this? How could I do it? If I had to quit in 3 months and I had no choice, something came up, some health emergency or something with one of the kids, how could I do this? And start looking at it from that way, because you guys, you've got to infuse a lot of faith into your decisions. We can't get all caught up with fear. I know a job is very secure, makes us feel like we're okay, but sometimes these big leaps of faith are what will take us directly to our purpose and give us a whole new life that we never thought was possible. So look at your finances. But also, there are creative ways that you could go to your boss if you just literally can't do that now. And you could actually ask them, could I take a leave? I need to take a leave of absence for a few months. What can I do? You can talk to HR and ask about a compressed schedule, a job share. What can I do to have some breathing room? You don't have to tell them that you're burned out. Sometimes that alerts people that you're not going to stay at your job. You don't have to do that. But you can just talk to them about what lower hours would look like and if that would be possible in the company. You could also look at other companies similar to yours to see if there are positions that would allow you a more flexible schedule, maybe even just working from home. Maybe if you worked from home, you would feel like you owned your life a lot more, and you wouldn't have to quit your position. You could also do some trial runs, maybe take a vacation and just use your PTO and just see what that feels like, see what that does. Those are just some things that can kind of help you start slowly getting used to the idea. Also look at any kind of 401k that you might have or income sources like that could help you fund your time. I know for me, it was a really complete leap of faith. I actually left jobs twice. The first time, it was absolutely terrifying because I had no other way to make it. And at that time, financially, we could not afford for me to leave. And it was absolutely terrifying. But I literally got to the point where I kept going back to work and I would end up in a couple weeks in tears and in just a mess, an emotional wreck. I couldn't even make myself go back. When I drove up to the front door, I would feel like I was going to vomit. It was also a very toxic situation. And I was being very much bullied. So that added into it. But I literally had to give it to God. I had to just pray about it. I had to go to my husband and say, I don't know what to do. Can we do this? And he said, yes, you need to leave. Something will happen. We'll figure something out. And that does happen. Sometimes, you guys, in those situations, you give it to God. You literally give it to God. And the second time that I was in a position and it was time to leave, at that point in time, it wasn't as crucial. We were a little bit in a better way, paying some bills off and getting in a better financial place. And even then it was still terrifying though, because this was my identity. This is who I was. I had been in healthcare for, probably 35 years. I didn't even know anything else. And even though it still was a leap of faith, I still had more of a confidence that this was not who I was anymore. And I needed to just phase out. But I did have a little bit of time before phasing out to get some savings, pay some things off and do it that way. So whatever way you have to do it, just remember, especially those of you that are women of faith, God is your provider. You are not your provider. You were never meant to be your 100% provider. If you have a job, it's because he gave you that job. If you have talent and ability and health to do it, it's because he gave that to you. He will not leave you or forsake you. He will not let you fall. Just make sure that you spend time with him to ask him, is this where I'm supposed to go? And get that clarifying piece. Or like I said, sometimes the rubber just hits the road and you don't have that piece, but there's just no choice. It has to happen. And at that point, it's just a big leap of faith. And that's just really what it is. But either way, it's the most wonderful thing.
As we close, I would like to say, don't work for retirement. I think that's what we get stuck on, that we're going to work for retirement. And so many people, that is their number one focus. Everything is for retirement. I'm saving for retirement so I can live my life and live my dream. Do you know how many people die soon after they retire? And for me, I know that being a single woman, my retirement doesn't look great right now, even though I have some retirement, but it's still nothing great. I am looking for a lifestyle that I can carry beyond what people would think is the retirement age, that I enjoy and I love, and I want to be present in the moment of today. So don't hold a career. Don't stick with retirement thoughts. Stick with what can help you be present in the moment to enjoy the sweet treasure time you have with family, friends, traveling, whatever it is. Don't make your life about that retirement. Make it about what brings me joy, what fills my cup. What am I passionate about? Well,
I love that, Lizzie, because if you don't listen to those things, those matters of the heart, you will be in constant conflict because you will actually be doing things that you don't love or feel called to anymore. And you'll just be doing it with a dry dread. I'm telling you, it is not worth it. So love it, Lizzie. Perfect. Guys, you can do this. There are ways to do it. More people than anybody. Do your research. So many people have had to leave their job and maybe not retire, maybe not because they're burned out. Maybe they just had to leave and they made it happen and they made it work. And sometimes, a lot of times, they found their very best selves. So leap of faith might be what you need to do. And we support you.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you taking the time. And again, please subscribe, put the little bell on, and follow us as we journey through this time of our life called midlife. Have a great day.